Hello, Gary Hernandez here. I wanted to discuss tactical pens. Now, there's a lot of them out on the market, different shapes, different brands, different colors. Some of them have different functions. I have about a half a dozen myself. And in our RDT self-defense class, we use improvised weapons, and so we also use pens. Not just tactical pens, excuse me, but we use also regular pens. I have situations where we're teaching, and I tell people, what happens if you don't own or have a tactical pen? And you might have to use basically a regular pen. And I had an individual one time, I was showing a technique on the video, and he had said, why don't they just buy a tactical pen? And yeah, that's great. But there's a lot of people that don't even know what a tactical pen really is. And the word tactical, that sometimes gets a little shady there, and a little gray area. And the pens basically, it doesn't have to be a super sized, multifunctional, made out of titanium pen to hurt somebody. We train in our school. We do train with the tactical pens, but we also train with the regular pens, because you might be a person that doesn't own one, and you might fall into a situation where you have a pen on you and you have to maybe use it, or you might be going somewhere where they may not let you have that kind of pen. Especially some airlines won't let you bring certain pens in because they may know what it is. Some companies may not want you to have it because it may look like it's going to hurt somebody. You'd be surprised. So basically, a regular pen will work just as good. It may not stand up to multiple hits, but if you use it the right way, you can cause severe injury to an individual. So, and when we're in our class and we're doing our drills with the pens, we'll use tactical pens and we'll use non-tacticals. Like two of the non-tactical pens, there's two different kinds we work with. One of them I call, the clicker type. I say click it and stick it. Stick it in their eye, stick it in their throat, stick it in their ear. Is there a chance it's going to break after maybe one or two hits? Yeah, but I may get the damage done right to them. Other one is one that has the cap on it. I say, pop the cap, stick it in. Again, into their ear, into their eye, into their throat. Do as much damage as you can before it breaks. Pencil's going to only be pretty much good for one or two shots, and just thrusting. If you go too hard, it's going to break. Yeah, everybody's watched John Wick kill a ton of people with a pencil, but in reality, I was stabbed back in school from behind with a pencil. I went like that and hit the guy. The pencil broke, and part of it was stuck in my back. So trust me, I know what damage they can do. But tactical pens, they're not a bad tool to have, as long as you're not running around telling everybody what it is, and you're not going to go in an area where you're going to get in trouble. But with that said, there are so many different ones. Now, granted, you can own one, and I'm going to show you a few right here. But if you don't train and learn where to strike, it's not going to do you much good. And number one, I like my tactical pens to be able to do one of the main functions they were designed to do, right. Here's one right here. Now, when these first came out on the market, probably a little over a decade ago, I remember the first tactical pen I ever bought, and it was from Benchmade Knife Manufacturing, and I was like, wow, couldn't wait to get it. And matter of fact, that pen, I don't even know where I put it right now, because over 10 years later, it kind of got damaged, and the area where you write with was actually damaged. It broke, so I wasn't able to write it. And that pen back then cost me almost $100, and that was with getting a discount. So it was crazy when they first came out on the market. They were $110, $120. But if you look at these businessmen's pens, cross pens, and all that, people pay a lot of money for those pens, and those are just basically high-priced stationery. Well, tactical pens have come down in price dramatically. You can get them for almost $9, $10. Granted, is it high, aluminums, airplane aluminums, titanium? Maybe not, but it's still going to do the job. Now, some of these I have right here in front of me. This one here is Smith & Wesson, and this pen, basically, you unscrew it, writes really nice, screw it back on, but the front end has a nice sharp little point, and it's great for stabbing, thrusting, throat, eye, ear canal if I need to put somebody down. But you don't just have to engage into a pretty lethal area. You can use them like Cobatons on the pressure points. You can hit in the nervous area, nerve areas. You can hit in the collarbone areas. And this is sharp enough to cut. It'll do some cutting into the flesh. It'll do pressure cuts. You can get somebody off you real quick with this pen. And when this one, I've had this one for quite a while. Smith & Wesson made them, and this one at the time cost me $25. Excuse me one second. It's like cold. And then they came out with other different pens. Here's one right here. Now this one here is from Grandmaster Griffins, the Fury. This pen right here is designed, number one, it's a great writing pen. Big enough to use for manipulating the body parts, striking. Now the tip, what makes this one I like, is these tips interchange. You can take, actually I don't even have to do that. You can take this tip off, this pen, and you can put a different tip on there. So there's different tips. This is another version of the Fury pen, and this one has the crown, like a crested crown, and that's really sharp. That again will tear into the flesh, hit or rip, bam. This is going to rip the flesh, it's going to tear. Again, enter the gateway of the eye, throat, ear canal. What's good about these pens, besides using them, you can also use tactical pens to break glass if you got to get into a car and get somebody out. So not just for striking somebody or writing, you can use them for a survival technique as well. So these are two of the Furies right here, tactical Furies. I'm just pulling back for you. They are different. This one's different, but the caps, this one here, you can interchange to put more of a sharper or more of a rounded point on this one. Only downfall about these two is they don't have caps. So, but what's good about those also, you don't just have to strike with these ends. You can strike with the initial front end. That is sharp and strong and will still hurt somebody. So these pens are made extremely strong. Another tactical pen I have, this one doesn't even have a name. I saw a real good deal on a survival packet for your car. It had compass, it had fire starter, it had all the other stuff in it. And I did a little showcase of that on my videos too. And it was from Stealth Angel, was the name of the company that did the survival pack. And in that pack, they added a tactical pen. Because you should always have a pen with you for any kind of survival needs. You might need to write something down. Now this one has no markable name on this pen. So I don't know who really designed the pen. But it's a good pen. I mean, it's a nice pen. Has the crown. Also, you can get blood and skin, just like on the Fury pepper spray, where you can, I'm sorry, not the pepper spray, but the Fury pen, on the crown area, you can get, and here, you can get tissue, blood, skin, so hair, you can get tissue in there, so you can use that for DNA. But again, these points are sharp enough not only to penetrate skin with pressure cuts and cause damage, and also cause maximum damage again to the throat, thrusting the pen into the ear canal, ripping into it, causing trauma, going into the gateway of the eye, tearing up, taking out their vision. You can also hit them in the head. But again, also in a self-defense situation, it's great. But let's say you're in your car and something happens and you go into water. Florida, remember? Water's around 3/4 of the state, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lakes. You go into a canal, a lake, and you can't get your door open. You happen to have your pen with you. Now you have a means of shattering the glass. And always remember, hit the glass in lower corners and shatter the glass. So these are just a few tactical pens that you can get on the market. And this is a handful, from the Smith & Wesson to the Furies to the unknown one, which again, I don't know what company designed the pen. It was just in that packet that I got. There's probably several dozen tactical pens out there. Like I said, Benchmade makes them, Smith and Wesson makes them. I'm sure most knife manufacturing companies make them because they're great blunt weapons. Again, do I need to have a $80, $90 top pen? No. Furies are about 25 bucks. Smith and Wesson was about 20, 25 bucks. I've seen these down for about 18. I've seen tactical pens for $13. I've seen one for $9.95. I didn't get that one because I didn't want to order it, as I already have like about half a dozen of these. But you can do the same technique with regular pens. The difference between a regular pen and a tactical pen is there's a high chance this is going to break after 1 or 2 strikes. It's going to crack, it's going to break. These really aren't going to break. They're going to be sturdy. They're going to do the job that's needed. They're going to work. And plus, what's good about tactical pens also, I haven't I looked at every tactical pen, but I will tell you 90% of tactical pens, you can change the ink. I'm not going to say 100%. Somebody might, out there say you can't. But you can change the ink. So it just depends on your preference. What kind of tactical pen do you want? They even have, everybody knows what this is. It's a Sharpie. We all use Sharpies at one time or another, whether it's school, work. Sharpies are great to have, but they're flimsy. Well, Cold Steel makes their version called a Sharky. And it's like a Sharpie on steroids. And it's a high polymer that's designed for using as a co-baton and an impact weapon. And yes, it does. I had to take the one out of here because I got to replace it. So I didn't want to sit there and have any of it leaking because it was getting old. This is probably almost 10 years old. So I covered this one up. I have another one that's black, but you can replace these. I just haven't bothered to put the new one in. So you can put a new one in. I just don't worry about putting the new one in because I use this one in class just for techniques and working out. The one that I use to write with, I kind of keep in my car because I take it to work. So now you also have the Sharpies that you can use as an impact weapon. The difference between this and a tactical pen, though, if you look, basically you can figure it out real quick. This is more blunt trauma, hammering, hitting the nerve areas, pulling down, which you can do exactly with this, but this one, most tactical pens are going to be able to cut into the flesh more. You can actually literally scrape a face and open them up. And if you cut somebody across the face, he or she's bleeding, they're going to freak out. Most people do. They don't want to see their own blood, so you can do a lot of damage. Again, you don't really have to have expensive or even cheaper tactical pens. If you're at work and you're not allowed to have a tactical pen because the boss knows about it, somebody may say something, you may not want to try to walk on an airplane with this because, and I'm not sure because when I fly, I don't really put a tactical pen just in case because I don't want to lose it. I want somebody also in TSA gets a burr up his ass or, and takes the pen away from me. I'll carry a regular pen because I'm not going to try to do a Kobaton maneuver and I'm not going to try to penetrate an upper body. I'm simply going to jam this into your eyeball as far as I can. And I'm going to take one of these and jam it through your throat, or I'm going to go through your ear canal as far into your head as I can and put you down. So basically, that's the target areas I prefer. Why? I've done stuff like that. I know it works, so I know how to, I've had to hurt people, so I know it's going to work. Those areas are great target areas. Most martial artists know that. But, again, if you carry one, excellent. Tell me what brand you carry, Tell me how much they're going for these days. It's kind of good to know. But to answer somebody's question one time, why doesn't everybody carry a tactical pen? Some people may not even know about it yet. Some people may not want to carry it. Yes, we're in our world where we do. We have our guns. We have our knives, and that's great. But it's not bad to have a backup weapon. Why? I could be sitting at work. In the daytime I work for a medical company. I'm in a warehouse. I'm writing a lot of stuff down. Some employee flips out. I'm not allowed to bring my gun into my job. They looked at my Emerson one time and got nervous about this, but I told them, hey, so I can cut the boxes. So they basically quit arguing me about that. So, you know, they all know I'm a martial artist. But somebody comes in, starts going nuts, and I'm close to him, and he starts to whip a gun out. The first thing I'm going to do is take this, and I'm going to jam it straight through his ear canal. Right? Straight in, and I'm going to see if I could take it in here and bring it right out here. And put him down fast. Or her. Don't get me wrong, people. I am equal opportunity when it comes to dropping an idiot that's trying to kill me. But again, pens are a great thing to have. Check them out. See what you guys think about tactical pens. Let me know whether you're pro or con on them. Gary Hernandez. Thank you.